Hey y'all, I am so glad you pressed play. So, today I just want to talk a little bit about generational patterns or generational curses, as some people call them. And what I want to do is just define it really quickly. I'm going to point out just a few thoughts that I have around it. And then I'm going to give you 4 questions that I want you to either answer in the comments, in our comment community, or some things I just want you to take with you and think about this week, okay? And then that'll be it. You ready? Here we go. So, by definition, and I just pulled this from a website called thesource.org. So, by definition, they say, according to the Gospel Coalition, a generational curse describes the cumulative effect on a person of things that their ancestors did, believed, or practiced in the past, and a consequence of an ancestor's actions, beliefs, and sins being passed down, right? So, one thing that they point out, or one example that they point out of a generational curse, and I'll use the term generational pattern, and I like to say generational pattern because I feel like patterns can be changed, right? When I think of the word curse, I think it's something that just cannot be shaken. But when I think of a pattern, I think that's something that can be changed. So that's why I will choose to use the term pattern, right? So one example that they give is a divorce, right? So maybe there's a generational history of divorces. I'll add a couple things to that list to also maybe include infidelity, maybe abortions, maybe women not feeling like they have a voice or have a say so, right? So those are all examples of, it's a short list of examples because the list could go on and on, right? Now, what I want to say about this is that what we have to understand is that deep-seated generational patterns, such as the ones I listed above, they not only have to be identified in our lives, but they also must be intentionally worked on, right, in order to break the cycle and completely change the pattern or change directions. So it's one thing to be aware of them, but it's totally transformational, right, to actually put in the work to overcome those things and to change the direction, change the pattern. So what I want to stress is that you have to go and get your healing from these things, right? So even though it might be something that we feel like, oh, we can't do anything about it, we can, okay? So it's important that we have to identify them and we have to actually go get the healing, right? And seek out the resources to help us cope with these things and overcome these patterns so that you have a fighting chance to have and live an abundant life that the word talks about, and so that the generations that behind us, that are the generations that are coming behind us, can live free from the bondage, the tricks, and the traps that the enemy has set, okay, for us and our families, right? So just a case in point, I want to use myself as an example. One generational pattern that I feel like I am breaking is the one that, feeling like a woman's voice or opinions or thoughts or feelings should be silenced, or maybe not even silenced, but they take a back seat to someone else's, right? And because my voice won't be heard, I'll just sit back and not express my feelings because I'm not going to be heard. I'm not going to be paid attention to, okay? So that's the pattern. Now, how am I breaking that pattern? I'm glad you asked. What I'm doing now is choosing to use my voice, okay? I remind myself on a daily basis that my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions are valid and they're just as important as anyone else's. So I speak boldly about what I'm passionate about and what's important to me. And now that doesn't mean that I'm barking orders or I think my way is the only way or my way is always the right way. But what I understand and what I do is I give myself and other people the grace to use their voice, the grace to use my voice. And so I think and I analyze before I speak, and I try my best to be gracious and peaceful with my words. But what I do is choose to believe and walk in the fact that my words matter and I deserve to be heard just as much as the next person. Okay, so that's what I'm doing to break this pattern, right? And that's just one pattern that I chose to share. But the thing is, the point that I want to stress is that I'm intentionally being the change, right? So here's what I want you to do. I got 4 questions I want to ask you, and you can type it in the comments. You can ponder on it over the week. But number 1, will you be the one, okay, to break the historical patterns that show up in your life? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 and number 3 kind of go together. So what's your solution? I shared my solution, which is using my voice. How will you overcome? Okay, what's your solution? How will you overcome? And number 4 is, what does doing the work look like for you? So all those kind of tie together, and I shared, how I'm breaking the pattern. And I want you to ponder on those 4 questions and comment below in the community so that we can bounce things off of each other, or you can just think about it, right? And so again, I'll say that I'm a certified life coach, and if you have an idea of some generational patterns that might show up in your life, and you have trouble creating a goal around knowing what to do to overcome those things, I'd be glad to coach you through that, or coach you through that process. And so I'll leave the link below for you to email me or read up on what my coaching services might look like. And I'd love to coach you through that. Okay. But that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you today. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and engage in this community. I want this to be a community for us to share with one another, and just have a community. There's nothing like having people you can bounce your thoughts off of and things like that. So subscribe. I'll put my Instagram and my Facebook below as well. Go ahead and like and share those things as well. Now, before I go, I'd like to point out that this video is proudly sponsored by Sani Guys, which is a United States-based Black-owned hand sanitizing company, okay? What I love about their product is that it is 80% alcohol. So it's very, very potent, but it's non-drying. It's very non-drying. It doesn't leave a sticky residue behind. And even though it's alcohol-based, the scent-free one, it doesn't have like that old, strong, old tequila smell. Some sanitizers have that, but this does not. It's no sticky residue, and it's a very neutral smell, okay? Also, Sani Guys uses high-quality essential oils for the natural clean scents. I have crisp cypress here with me as well. And the essential oils are very high quality, and they also add additional antibacterial properties and help reduce inflammation. So if you want to check out Sani Guys, you can use my unique code, which is UBD21, and you can use that code at checkout, and you'll get 15% off your order of $15 or more. And that special is just for my viewers, okay? So I'll put that information below as well. You can get 15% off. So that's it. That's all I want to share with you guys today. Be encouraged, and remember to keep evolving on your Unique by Design journey. See ya.